Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, I, Farooq Arslan Siddiqui, the coordinator of this conference, welcome you all at the 4th Pakistan Future Leader Conference 2004. Welcome and Khush Amdeed. Right now we are in the historical Sheldonian Theatre, which is opposite Grade 1 building and is the hall for the official ceremonies of the University of Oxford. Not only Sheldonian, the whole city of Oxford is itself historical, equipped with a number of libraries, museums, and gardens with broad economic base. Now, I would like to invite a person with whose efforts this conference has become possible, Mr. Faraz Janan Khattak. He is the elected president of Oxford University Pakistan Society, which is the platform of representation of Pakistani students studying at University of Oxford. We should not forget that he is also the chairman of this conference. With your warm applause, Faraz Janan Khattak.
To build upon the motivation that why this conference is so paramount, I'll present an abstract of some of the major challenges that we face today, since the message from this conference is optimism towards Pakistan. Pakistan is going through a very difficult phase, though it has seen times far more difficult than this. Political instability, terrorism, gradually increasing foreign isolation, economic and energy crisis has affected the very fabric of our civil society. It is also eroding our cultural values. Today, as I speak to you, about 1 million internally displaced people from the tribal areas of Pakistan are staying in tents with inadequate living facilities. They are those who have migrated in the search for peace. I am thankful to the World Congress of Overseas Pakistanis, particularly to its co-chairman, Sayyid Qamar Raza, who has helped us and made this conference possible. I am also thankful to the High Commission of Pakistan, to Ijlal Khattak and Colonel Zulfikar Bhatti, who has been coordinating with us throughout its organization. I'm also thankful to Samiullah from the Oxford Aviation and Sardar Ghalib, whose generous support has encouraged us. So with these words, I conclude this note, and thank you for coming here.
Thank you very much, Faraz, for your kind words and the welcome note. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also blessed with the presence of the worthy Vice-Chancellor of University of Oxford, Professor Andrew Hamilton. Professor Andrew Hamilton is a well-known academic, and his research interests lie at the interface of organic and biological chemistry. Professor Hamilton's academic achievements have been widely recognized internationally. In 1999, he received the Arthur C. Cope Scholar Award from the American Chemical Society, and in 2004, he was elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society and a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. He was elected as a member of American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2010 and received the International AZ Christian Award in Microcyclic Chemistry in 2011. We are really thankful for your presence in the conference, Professor Hamilton, and I would like to request you to say a few words and to open the conference formally. Professor Andrew Hamilton.
Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished friends, it's an enormous pleasure and a privilege for me to be here, to be opening formally the Pakistan Future Leaders Conference here in the Sheldonian Theatre. I know that many of you have traveled from afar, have traveled from Pakistan, from other parts of the world. Some of you have come from other universities around the UK. We are thrilled that you are here. We are very pleased that you will be participating in this important conference over the next few days. It was wonderful to hear the president of the Pakistan Society mention Oxford and the distinctive characteristics of Oxford University, and we pride ourselves on having played over many centuries a very significant role in the development of scholarship and teaching, indeed in the education of leaders. And so this could not be a more significant and important topic for the conference, because the training of leaders is something we pride ourselves on, whether they are leaders in the sciences, the arts, in business, or in politics. This is an important part of our mission. And as you will see over these days, Oxford is a very beautiful place. Oxford is a very ancient place. We have colleges and buildings like this Sheldonian Theatre that date back many hundreds of years. So we try very, very hard to combine the ancient and the modern, the strengths, the support, the heritage and history that the ancient brings with it, but with a very modern focus. And let me just give you an example in this room. This is the Sheldonian Theatre. It was designed by an Oxford student, Christopher Wren, and of course Christopher Wren went on to design St. Paul's Cathedral in London, the most distinctive building in London. And the building of this big building began precisely 350 years ago. It was in 1664 that the construction of this building began. So we are celebrating its 350th birthday, if you like. And for us, that is an opportunity to celebrate the role that it plays in so many ways in the ceremonies of the university, in graduation, in matriculation. All of the students from Oxford know matriculation well. It was about 3 weeks ago. I can see someone smiling over there. He was clearly here, and I presided. And I'm going to, so those of you who are at matriculation, you've got to close your ears, because one of the things that is quite remarkable about this building is that it symbolizes so much about the university, and none more so than this magnificent painting on the ceiling. It was painted by an artist called Robert Streeter in the 1660s, the late 1660s. He was the painter for King Charles II, and it depicts a very important sentiment for the University of Oxford. It depicts the arts and the sciences descending upon the university to banish ignorance. So it's a real focus on the importance of scholarship, of the arts, the sciences, to our understanding of the world. But as you look at it, a painting painted in the 1660s, I want you to look very closely on the panel just 2 over from the window on that right-hand side. The panel there, and there's a gentleman leaning back. Do you see him? That gentleman leaning back. I am absolutely convinced that he is holding an iPad. And I think if you look closely, you will see that in that painting we have the ancient and the modern all in one. We have Oxford University doing what we should do, which is to be forging the future, forging ahead. And we do that through our research, we do that through our scholarship, but we very much do that through the education of future leaders. And we are delighted that that commitment to leadership is shown by the students in Oxford in 2014 from Pakistan. We are delighted that those students play a very active, a very dynamic role in the university. Currently in Oxford, we have about 90 students, 90 students from Pakistan. Most of them are postgraduates, but they have I can assure you, they make themselves well known, and the various international activities, the Pakistan Society is always prominent, and the food that they produce and the activity they generate and the music that they play is well known to students around Oxford. We are delighted that they are here. We are delighted that many Oxford students have graduated over the years and returned to Pakistan. We have something like 350 alumni in Pakistan, and for us, it's a very significant part of the role of the university. The inspiration of future leaders of Pakistan is something that is key, and I wish you all the best of good luck and good fortune in these few days. And it's my pleasure to declare the conference open.
With a warm applause, Mr. Muhammad Niaz Abbasi, the Lord Mayor of Oxford.
The conference is, I think, focusing on the future leadership of Pakistan. For that leadership, there is some code of conduct which should be considered before considering a leader to lead you. Leader, I think, is the one who can see the other side of the horizon, not just on the floor here. I can see that as well. But my leader should be who can see the other side of the horizon so that he can tell the nation that what danger is going to come up and what we're going to face, what problem we're going to face, and to find the solution for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you very good luck for the rest of the time of the conference, and I hope that this conference will be a successful one and find a real leadership, honest leadership, which can take us out of the mess which is in Pakistan now. Thank you very much, and thank you.
We are also blessed with the presence of His Excellency, the High Commissioner for Pakistan in the United Kingdom, Mr. Ibn Abbas. We are really grateful for the support he has provided for the arrangement of this conference. I would like to request Mr. Ibn Abbas to please come and say a few words.
I'm grateful for this occasion to be present here when there's inaugural, and I think the inaugural has been done by the Vice Chancellor and the Lord Mayor. I can only say that, of course, Mr. Vice Chancellor, this Oxford University is a name which is very familiar to each Pakistani, because as you said, 350 alumni of this university, and some of those leading figures have left a lasting imprint on our polity, on our social fabric. So I think this is, no doubt, a very common home name for every Pakistani, Oxford University. Oxford University is not the only link between Pakistan and United Kingdom. We have several other links, and amongst them, the strongest bond is the Pakistani diaspora. We have over 1 million and a very successful diaspora. And you can see, if you turn on your right, Vice Chancellor, you'll see the Lord Mayor, you will see the Member of Parliament, European Parliament, and so many others. We have about 7 members of House of Lords, 7 members of Parliament, House of Commons, and over 300 councillors and mayors. So I think this is something to rejoice, and we are very proud of what the community is doing. I would like to end my talk with the advice given by the great visionary leader, the great statesman of his time, and epoch-making history, epoch-making personality, which is Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And I will quote what he addressed, what he said to his youth. Quote, "My young friends, I look forward to you as the real makers of Pakistan. Do not be exploited and do not be misled. Create amongst yourselves complete unity and solidarity. Set an example of what youth can do. Your main occupation should be in fairness to yourself, to your parents, in fairness to the state, to devote your attention to your studies. End of quote. My request to you, dear compatriots, young students, is one, and that is make the best of the opportunities you have here. And a small advice on which I'm going to conclude is, please be respectful to the local laws here. Please be mindful of the local sensitivities and remain within the realms of the local laws. So that's the best way to go forward. Before I take my seat, I would say that this is the way to go forward if you are part of the mainstream. Do not try to stay away or out of the mainstream, because then you will be left out. With this, I would thank you all for your patient hearing, and once again, thank you very much, Janan, for this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Excellency, for your kind words. We are also having with us Mr. Sajjad Haider Karim. Mr. Karim has been elected twice as a member of European Parliament and is recognized as the first British Muslim in the European Parliament. He is the chairman of South Asia Trade Committee for the European Parliament, and he has built up a wide network in British Pakistani community and continues to work to help others engage in politics and the wider society. With your warm applause, Mr. Sajjad Haider Karim.
Vice Chancellor, a 300-year-old iPad. And you think you've got something on Pakistanis? I have a story for you. We have a neighboring country that will remain nameless for now. And they did some digging in a site that was 1,000 years old. And they found cables. That was too much for us to bear. So we went and we started digging a site near Texela, 2,500 years old. And High Commissioner, we dug and we dug and we dug. We found nothing. Our answer, wireless technology. So give us a week and we will have a response to your iPad. I assure you on that. I have the good fortune of having so many young people and leaders and future leaders sat in front of me today, and an opportunity just to share a few thoughts. You know, I thought that once I was elected as a parliamentarian, I would become a leader. No, it doesn't work that way. It's very different. I started my political life at the age of 7, going leafleting door to door, knocking door to door. Sometimes in the bitter cold, sometimes with colleagues who had no real understanding as to why I was doing what I was doing at that age. And sometimes I didn't really understand why I was doing what I was doing. But what is it about leaders? What is going to stand each and every one of you out from the others? I grew up in an era where a verse from a poem, "Seize the day," had value, it had meaning. Today, as I look around Europe, or indeed the globe, I don't see any shortage of leaders. What I see a shortage of is leadership from those people who are in those positions. Have we lost the ability to have the vision that our forefathers had? What has happened? There's something somewhere, a change has taken place. How are you going to reverse that? How is it going to be different? Incidentally, another lesson I learnt is that it's always dangerous for a politician to be stood between an audience and their dinner, so I'm not going to take too long. I will be done very soon indeed. But as I look at all of these things, and I sometimes see world leaders in front of me, sometimes sharing platforms with me, and I have to ask myself these questions. It's all too easy to keep presenting the problems time and time again. I look at Pakistan, for instance, and I see a country where today a very precious relationship between the state and the citizen has been broken. And High Commissioner, I don't use those words lightly. For the average, ordinary Pakistani, that relationship today is broken. If that person, an individual, suffers an illness of a serious sort, they are on their own. The state has no real role to play. If somebody is a breadwinner in their family and they suffer a fatality, their family is on their own. The state has no role to play or solution to offer them. If an individual falls the victim of a crime, the state is not going to deliver justice to them as of right. They may be able to get justice, but they will have to go and get it with their own strength. The state has no role to play. And of course, here in the United Kingdom, I grew up learning about cradle to the grave. And it wasn't about welfare provision, it was about ensuring that the individual's relationship with the state remained strong and cemented from the cradle to the grave. How are you going to deliver that in Pakistan? Is a question you today need to ask yourselves. Because what happens when I meet a fellow Brit, I may have no connection with that Britisher, other than the fact that he or she is also British. And that connection binds us instantly. Today, when a Pakistani meets another Pakistani, other than goodwill, what do you have to bind yourselves to one another? Is it any wonder that we are seeing a huge rise in the sorts of crime and so many other social issues that are taking place? When you don't have those moral binds in the way that you used to have, that I remember from the 70s and the 80s as a young child in Pakistan. So where are the solutions going to come from? Well, as an overseas Pakistani, we are able to provide networks. And that is why I am certainly associating myself with the World Congress of Overseas Pakistanis. You have available to you a tremendous resource spread right across the globe. But unfortunately today, unlike China, unlike India, unlike Brazil, rather than take that resource as a starting point to rebuild your country, we have been made into second-class citizens in Pakistan. Take this message back with you when you ultimately do return. Because this resource can very easily be lost to everybody's detriment, mine and yours. Where is that leadership going to come from? Where are you going to get the vision? Well, it's from places like this. There's very little an individual like me can really instill or inspire in you. But what you do here, whilst you are here, over the 3 or 4 years, that is going to be the defining moments, not of just you as individuals, but of the nation that I hope you will choose to serve. In my case, it was the United Kingdom. But ultimately, I was blessed with the opportunity of transferring that service, not just for the United Kingdom, but for the whole of Europe. And you will have that ability as well. Have the vision. Do not serve just Pakistan. You have a network of countries so closely connected in that part of the world. And if in Europe we can do what we are doing today, after having been through what we have only decades before, I see no reason as to why you cannot build those bridges. and develop the whole region. You can do that if you've got the vision to push that through. And I will finish off now, finally, Fahd. My apologies, I've taken longer than I said I would. We have, of course, the example of a 300-year-old iPad available to us here in this room. But the future, what is going to be our direction of travel? I was lucky enough, Vice-Chancellor, to be on my graduation day to be presented with my degree by Sir Roy Jenkins. And he spoke to us and he said, all of you will go on to do tremendous things in your lives. But I have one request of you all, and that is that you all adopt a cause. In my case, it was voluntary service. And he was right. By taking up voluntary service, I always thought I would be giving. No, I've gained much more than I have ever given. And I hope that each of you will do that as well. But in your case, you have much more than just a cause to adopt. You have an entire nation. And that should be your aim and your mission, to ensure that you serve it diligently, honestly, and with every fiber of your being, ensure that you take its direction in a way that you can be proud of in years to come. And I finish simply by going back to where I started. Seize the day today has become, in the era of iPads and modern technology. It has become seize the hour, then it became seize the minute. Now I have people who will send an email to me, and if they haven't had a response back within an hour and a half, they're sending another email to find out why there has been no response. And half an hour after that, they're on Twitter and Facebook complaining. The world seems to have become seize the second. As leaders, you cannot make your decisions in the framework of seconds. Just look at some of our politicians today across the globe, and you will see every decision they make in a matter of seconds is always proven to be the wrong decision. So if you really are going to show leadership, take control and once again go back to a point where you can once again be brave in the face of that onslaught and seize the day. Thank you.
Now comes the time for the award ceremony for the people who have really contributed for making this conference successful, along with those whose services are remarkable for their respective fields of interest.
Hi everyone, we'll move to the award ceremony now. These awards are a token of love, affection and encouragement to some of the individuals, Pakistani individuals, whose successes needs to be celebrated. Can I please have the Vice Chancellor to present these awards? The first award is the British Pakistani Leadership Award, and it goes to a very distinguished parliamentarian, which is Sajjad Karim.
So the next award for this evening is Pakistan Diaspora Award, which goes to the co-chairman of Overseas Pakistani World Congress Overseas Pakistani, Sayyid Qamar Raza. The next award is Pakistan Treasure Award, which goes to the music legend Zuhaib Hassan. He's one of the earliest singers and musicians who brought the flavor of pop singing to Pakistan. Sorry, sir.
The award that I'm going to present is an inspirational award, and it's a youth inspiration award. It's going to go to a person who I first met when he was hosting for Oxford University Student Union President graduate vice president. And when I met that person and when he was doing the hosting, I proudly said, well, he's Pakistani. And that is the kind of leader and that is the kind of youth that I want to see around in Oxford. This person is named Yasser Bhatti, and he's doing DPhil in management inside business school. He won 2 Nautilus Awards from Green Templeton College, one for academic achievement and another for community service. He is the president of Green Templeton College Graduate Student Society, and he was the first Pakistani to serve as vice president of all graduates at Oxford University Student Union.
Oxford University Pakistan Society has announced a special award, that is Women Leadership Award, for a Pakistani female student here at the University of Oxford. The proud Pakistani that I am going to invite here came as an undergraduate student to study English, literature and history. She has since then excelled in roles of leadership. She became secretary and then the vice president of the Oxford Union. She is a debater and has represented Oxford at many international tournaments, including the European Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ms. Mehrun Nisa Sajjad. This award is named as the Youth Leadership Award, and the gentleman that has been selected for this award worked day and night to ensure the successful and smooth organization of this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome none other than Mr. Faraz Janan Khatak, the President of Oxford University Pakistan Society. Thank you very much all for your presence here.
You need to create a think tank.
Okay.
And think tank, the points I raised, that it's not just one leader, how many sheep he have, but he should have a quality of leadership, where he can lead the nation. Okay? So that's most important. And got to be honest, got to be fearless leadership, and got to have the integrity of the leadership as well, so that who can unite the nation and go through the hurdles we are facing these days.
I think it's a wonderful ceremony, very deserving of support. I, of course, am here as a member of the European Parliament, but also as chairperson of the World Congress of Overseas Pakistanis. And I think it's only right that in an environment that Oxford University can provide, that those people who are in a position to share their experience of how these young people can move forward in life do that. And that is why I am here today.
So how do you see the rise of the future leaders of Pakistan?
No, it's great to be here, and I think it was very befitting, to be attending
ceremony or an occasion where, so many Pakistanis have gathered and they are looking towards future. I think, that's the way to go forward. So I think it was great for me to be part of it, and I expect some very positive things coming out of this conference the next 2 days.